Okay, thank you. So, thank you for the introduction again, and nice to see you all to listen to my talk. I'm speaking today about the process of AI as part of my visual practice, and I will introduce you to 3 projects I did in the last 2 years, and maybe the first question I would ask myself is, why did I start to work with machine learning tools? As Theo said, I'm a multidisciplinary artist and my background is in photography. And in the last 10 years, I always worked about the effect of technology on our bodies. So this is like 2 works which is not made with AI, but it is already reflecting on this question about technology and body. And for me, the next logical step was also to integrate machine learning systems, or like to work about AI tools and how they might affect our idea of the body in the future. And so this is why I did some small experiments, smaller projects I won't show here now, but I started with a larger project, which is called Technobodies. Luckily, I got a project funding for this work. So I had some budget to work with AI tools and to pay for it, and also to work on physical works, which all are combined together in an installation. So Technobodies is a mixed media installation. And in total, it consists of 8 videos, 5 sculptures, and 2 large format prints. And I did some little research before I started this project, because I also had to apply for this funding and to explain what I want to do in this project. So how would I start, or how would you maybe start to work with this kind of technology? What I want to make clear is that you really don't need necessarily programming skills if you want to work with machine learning tools. And the question, if you want to do that by yourself, or if you want to ask and pay someone, is depending, of course, on your concept and also on the budget, of course. And sometimes, or maybe also to start, it might make more sense to use existing AI platforms or tools. So this is what I did actually in 2021. And so I trained for the work Technobodies, I trained my own model with image material of stock photos. And it was in total, I bought like 350 stock photos of bodies to create new image material with this AI tool or platform. And it's a platform which was created as a tool for creative people. And to find out, before I could start to work with the AI, of course, it was not like a totally linear process, but of course, I had to figure out what kind of image material would I need to make this training. And so with some tests I did before, I had some criteria to break down the type of images I would need. So I realized I need images for my idea of the visual, the language I want to use. I needed white backgrounds, also to focus on the body shapes and have this constant visual language. And the people shouldn't wear any clothes, only underwear. ideally it was white underwear. And I've tried to also integrate diverse bodies, so diverse in terms of gender, age, body shapes, and skin color. So here are some examples of bodies I used. It's just a few of them. So as I said, I use stock photography. So I bought the images to use them for my training. And I also, as you can see, maybe use different kind of parts of the body, angles. Sometimes it's a headshot, sometimes it's a half of the body, and sometimes it's full body images. And yeah, some more images here. So this the way the AI platform works, so it's not an open source platform. So I had to choose some certain kind of algorithm for my training. So the one I used in the beginning for this project, it was called Creative Morph. So that's how the platform is describing this way of training. So it's generating a sequence of images transitioning between two sets, inspirations and influences, and then the results initially resemble the inspiration and converge towards the influences input set. And in between, I get some mixture of the two. So I did that training in total, I think like 3 or 4 months, with changing the setup, with downloading, testing, and so on. So it was a process. I also had to learn how this AI platform is dealing with my image material, because I didn't have any clue what is going to happen if I just give this kind of images to the platform. And in total for this setup, I got like 280,000 single images, or I generated together with the AI platform. Here is some kind of view how it looks like at the end. So it's kind of a mix of bodies. Sometimes you really recognize real bodies, sometimes it's really abstract. And that's just an example of one, like, yeah, let's say slide. And here I get out some images I choose. And so what you can recognize is that there's still some bodies, they remind on the original bodies, but it got really kind of distorted and monstrous kind of, which I really liked, because yeah, I think it's one big issue of these platforms is if you don't tell them how a human should look like that we have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and so on. And it's just about the image material. It gets really like weird results. So so this is some of these snapshots, in between snapshots I show here. Yeah. This is like a little kind of overview how it looks like on the platform. So I have like an image in a larger size, and on the bottom I can kind of scroll through all the single images I get, the in-between steps. And for me, the concept of the work was from the beginning that I want to show this kind of training process. And I wanted to show that in videos. So that's why I had to choose some of also excerpts of these images I generated, and to make kind of a really fast video out of it, and every video is showing this kind of process from one image to another, and it consists in between 300 and 3,000 single images. So I just basically put them all together to make it look like a video, like a really moving thing. So here is a video. You can see the video, one of the 8 videos. So the videos are without sound, and I usually present them in a screen. And the screens are mostly like on the floor, on the wall, as more like an object or maybe sculpture object than a like classical video presentation. So the videos are always loops. So it means like it's going forth and back in the same movement, and it's an endless loop. So the viewer of the exhibition can always come and just start at a certain point to watch this kind of transforming body. I think it's just a quick excerpt. So the videos have a length of in between 3 and 6 minutes. Another part of this work, Techno Bodies, was because it's a mixed media installation, also to bring the digital image of these bodies I generated back to the real space, and to make it also make 3-dimensional sculptures. You can walk around and maybe even touch it in the exhibition space. So with some images I choose, which for me were interesting because they had some sculptural aspects, I made the sculptures by hand. So it's nothing 3D printed. It's actually a really classical process of sculpting. So left, you can see that I'm forming it with clay and making like a model for the sculpture. And when it's finished, I'm making a negative form to pour in silicone. That's the material I mostly use into the form. And on the right-hand side, you see how I'm getting out the result, the sculpture out of the silicone mold. So at the end, all these 5 sculptures are inspired by the image of the AI, but they're my interpretation of this image. So my 3-dimensional interpretation. And I'm always showing them together in the exhibition. So I'm showing the sculptures next to the videos in different kind of setups. This is an exhibition where I showed 2 videos and 2 sculptures. And on the right-hand side, you see one of the large format prints, which are also prints with the image. One image I choose. Here's another exhibition where the setup is a bit different. So the whole body of work is quite big. So I have 5 sculptures and 8 videos. So mostly I can't show them all together. So that's why I'm also, of course, changing the setup depending on the space I have. And originally, the work was made for this exhibition space in Berlin. It's a quite big space, actually. and I did a solo show presenting this work the first time. So I kind of, decided also about this, how many sculptures I have and how many videos, and also the background drops I use here, the prints on fabric as a backdrop for the sculpture. And but as I said, I showed it in other exhibitions in different ways. So I like that it's kind of, adaptable to the spaces I'm showing the work. Here there is the same videos you saw before, but in this case it's also with a blue LED light. That's sometimes it's possible to do that. And so there's a few exhibition views on this main exhibition I did, and another close-up of another sculpture. This is a little video just to see how the work is like in the space, and you can see another 2 videos. So the speed also varies a bit, like in the background, maybe you see there's a video is going really quickly in the beginning. This one, I think we saw already, so I skipped that. So the speed depends on how quickly the forms of the body shape in the beginning. Mostly it's really quick in the beginning, and then it gets more and more precise. And that makes the video look slower towards the end, or the changes are not so obvious maybe as in the beginning. And as I said, also because the work is has different amount of single images, I have these different lengths of videos, and so also a bit a different speed of each movement in the video. After this work, so it was quite like a work I did mostly in 6 months, but I also continued to do more sculptures. In the beginning, there was only 2 sculptures existing, and I did some more sculptures, and but now it's finished the work, and I did some other work right after that, because like starting to work with this platform also, it's really, I would say, playful. So you get a lot of really a lot of material which can be really exciting to continue to work with, but maybe it doesn't fit exactly to what the project was in the beginning. So it's also inspiring in a way to some new projects maybe. So that's how also the next project came up, which is called Meta Bodies. And it's actually came out of this Technobody project, And it's also a mixed media installation and a performance, and consists also of two videos. One is a wall projection, and then I also again worked with an installation like a kind of a metal stand and objects from silicon, but in this case it's not sculptures, so I will explain it later. And then there's a smaller video, which is also part of this installation. And also for the performance, I made myself like a suit to wear and a mask. And so there is like also a MIDI controller where I'm playing sounds. And actually, in the beginning, I used the same material, like the same image material, but a different algorithm. And I also added some new image material, which you can see here. It's more like headshots, more like faces. And I used the same platform and algorithm called Freeform. And it's working totally different. I don't really know exactly how, because it's not open source, so I can't really change the algorithm. By the way, this was something important also, to use something I can't really change, or I can't really know what is coming out, because it was also about how these technologies, we can't really understand how they work, deal with our bodies in reality, actually. So I use this freeform algorithm, and it's a process where it generates a sequence of images that are amalgamations of a single collection. And so it's kind of melting my bodies into one with different steps. So what does it mean in visually? It looks a bit like that. As you can see, it's, as I said, it's the same image material I used, but it's a totally different output, actually. So I'm going a bit closer and showing some closer views. And what I liked about these results was that it came out really abstract, that it's really going into a really abstract way of maybe still have the idea of a human body, but it's in a really abstract way. And that was an interesting step. I didn't think that would happen, but at the end I liked it, and I continued to work with this material. And there's some more close-ups. So I just picked a few images, but similarly to the other works, I generated a lot of image material. So, and I choose the ones that kind of remind me on bodies, but also to push the border into the abstraction. So how much real body we need to see to have the idea about bodies. And here's the difference to the techno body work I did before, is that in this case, I don't show the process of the training in my videos. So it's more like a morphing from one form to another form. And actually the morphing I did on the same platform. So I could use a video function, which allows me to morph these images really easily, and then cut them all together and change the speed, and also make another loop. I created a video which is then I show here. It's in total 12 minutes, and just showing a short excerpt. So I showed a video really big on a huge wall. So the idea is that the viewer or the visitor of the exhibition is also kind of in the space of this body. So it can be like that it's really immersive in a way. And so the same, that it's like a loop, so you can always just go in and see, as long as you are interested in seeing what you're seeing, or maybe having, the feeling you want to watch it. And as it is 12 minutes, usually people maybe not look at it for 12 minutes, but yeah, so it's possible to just, because there's no beginning and no end, it's just possible to watch and then go out. And I show just how it was installed. So this is like an exhibition I did where you can see it in the full wall, almost like full wall. And in the foreground, you see some of this skin objects. I will show it later a bit more precisely. And for the skin objects, and also for the second video, I did also another setup of training. And in this case, I went a bit closer to the body. So I used parts of the body. Here you see also not so nice parts sometimes. And like little excerpts of skin parts or body parts to make a new training with the same algorithm. And the output looked similar to that. That's also not only an excerpt, because of course I had another big bunch of material, and I chose this some of the images to do this, to make this skin objects. So this one, for example, and this one. And I also said that I did another video, which is part of the installation, which you can see here. This video is showed in the screen within the installation with the skin objects. And it's the same way of morphing the images into each other. The one thing I had to kind of deal with, or you always have to deal with, is that mostly if you do this kind of generating images in AI systems or like training, that the output usually is always a 1-to-1 square format image, as you maybe saw before. And if you want to show it as a video in a screen, you have the problem of the 16:9 format. So I also had to think about if this is possible with the material I have to cut away this big part of the image. So in the wall projection, it doesn't really matter because I can just project it in 1-to-1. But with the screens, I always had to cut away or put something in the background, which I also did in the techno bodies actually. But because the background was white, it was easy also to make it a bit bigger, the image at the end. And the objects actually are made by a print. So I printed on fabric again, and then I coated it with silicone. It's the same material I use also for my sketches. And it gets this kind of skin, transparent skin feeling on top of it. So the material, even though it's a work, I work digitally with this kind of technology. I always want to have these physical objects and things you are relating to in the space of the exhibitions or in the real space, and that's important because I think also we are not existing only like now in the Zoom. In a Zoom meeting, in a digital image of ourselves, we also encounter each other still in a physical world. So I think this is why I'm also always bringing in these physical objects. There's another installation shot of the objects and this construction from metal where they are like installed. And as I said, I also the work also consists of a performance, and the performance in this case was important because I wanted to bring in a third layer. So there's the video, there's the objects, but there's also my own body, or like the human body, in between these two worlds, like maybe as a kind of a bridge or hybrid form. And so the performance I did, I also printed a suit which I'm wearing, and I made this mask. The mask is made in the same process like the sculptures, and I used this MIDI controller to play sounds on my body. The sounds are actually noises of computer noises and spoken words, and referring to nature, technology, and body. So I'm just playing like an excerpt of the performance. Coming back, I just showed the image. So what was important also for me in this performance, or together with the full body of work, was also to be in the project. And so I have this overlapping image of the images from the video on my body. And the sounds are actually like I don't really see much when I wear this mask, so I can't really know what I'm touching and what kind of sound I'm going to play. So this is also all improvised in a way. So I'm really not there's no certain way. It's all kind of improvised, the performance in front of the video. So, and the last project I'm showing, it's most recent project I did, actually just finished. I just finished recently, so it's from this year. It's again a mixed media installation with a video, and sculptures and a print. And the title is The Hand of God. And it refers to the sculpture by Rodin from 1907. And it deals actually with the problem of AI systems to generate hands, and also with the hand itself as a symbol for, as a main tool for artists. And in contrast, the way you create with a machine or AI system. So the big questions if AI art is still art because it's not handmade, which is like a big discussion, I think, right now in all kind of creation fields, and also if these technologies kind of make people in the creative field not only there, but that's what I'm dealing about with this work, maybe unemployed, because we don't need to have someone who use still their hands and create something with their hands. So so there's different aspects about hands I was interested in, because there's this kind of really weird obsession with the handmade, and at the same time the problem of creating realistic hands with an AI tool. So I used 4 different kind of platforms and tools to create a work. In this case, everything of the video is made with AI. In the first step, I generated hands based on stock photos, but I changed with prompting. I changed, for example, the amount of fingers on the hand, because this is like a big issue sometimes when you create bodies with AI systems. They really have trouble to have the exact amount of fingers and so on. And also the way the fingers are, it's something seems to be not easy for these technologies. And the second step was to make a video out of these still photos, which is also made with another AI. It's an image to video AI, which makes me basically an animation of a still image, which was a bit funny, because also the way it moved the hands was really weird, and really something it's not possible you can do with your hands. So there's like 3 excerpts of the videos I generated. And the third step, or the third and the fourth step, was to generate a text with a tool you maybe know. So ChatGPT, I asked ChatGPT to write a text about the hand in the art history, but also about the problems AI systems have with generating hands. So ChatGPT was quite creative, but also kind of repeated itself because my questions were maybe too close to each other. So I've created, I think, like 5 different texts. About the hand in the history, the symbol of the hand, and also the problems of generating hands. So there's a video.
Throughout art history, the hand has served as a potent symbol, conveying myriad meanings and emotions across cultures and epochs. Its significance is deeply intertwined with human expression, communication, and the very essence of creation itself. In ancient civilizations, such as ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, the hand was often depicted as a symbol of power, authority, and protection. The famous Hand of Fatima, or Hamza symbol, for instance, is believed to ward off the evil eye and bring blessings and protection to its bearer. Similarly, in Christian iconography, the hand of God or the hand of blessing is a recurring motif, representing divine intervention, guidance, and grace. During the Renaissance, artists such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo elevated the hand to new heights of significance in their works. The delicately rendered hands in Leonardo's Vitruvian Man and the expressive hands of Adam and God in Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam epitomized the era's fascination with anatomical accuracy and the portrayal of human emotion and spirituality. In more contemporary art movements, such as Surrealism and Expressionism, the hand often takes on a more abstract and symbolic role. Artists like Salvador Dalí and Frida Kahlo utilize distorted or elongated hand imagery to convey psychological states, inner turmoil, and personal narratives. Furthermore, the hand has been a recurring motif in...
So I skip it here. There's another video because I said in the beginning, I'm also in this work, I did another installation with sculptures. In this case, it's hand sculptures. I modulated, and so yeah, here you can see it's really like a handmade process actually. So I'm always, I think it's something really goes through all my projects that I'm always kind of bringing in my handmade objects or material. So the material is also kind of important. And to combine it with these digital videos, in this case, I mean, I saw some smiling faces, so I think it's also a bit funny, like how serious the ChatGPT was about the hand motif, and it looks a bit absurd in the way the AI created these hands and animated and so on. Here are the final sculptures. They're also made with silicone, and what I like about all the sculptures is, maybe here you can see it a bit better, that they are really imperfect. So there's little things happening when I'm doing them. So with the coring, some problems or whatever. And so I like that we have this idea about the genius thing about AI, and that it's much better than humans can be, which is totally not true in my opinion. But it also, so I like that I have this little imperfections in my sculptures. And you see the imperfections, of course, also in the videos, especially if you think about the bodies. And there's my hands also in the installation. So this is my two left hands. As you maybe know, in German culture, we say, or maybe you say that in other cultures probably as well, that if someone is not really good with working with the hands, we say like, oh, this person has two left hands, because most of the people work with their right hand. So there's my two left hands, also part of the whole installation. And this is like how it looks like then with the video, again in a screen, and in the background there's a fabric print, but it kind of almost falls. And it's also a generated image of actually a real hand sculpture. So it's also a bit distorted. I don't think you can see that so much in the picture here. But that's the only picture I have so far because it's brand new. So the work wasn't shown in an exhibition yet. And yeah, so that's so far what I can share in this time. Of course, I have other projects. I work with AI, but I think these were maybe the three ones where it's, you could also see like from the first one to get to work the last. So there's also within the same tools maybe or similar tools, there's a progress or a change also because the technology is changing so rapidly at the moment. So it can mean like one project I did 2 years ago is already like really old in terms of technology. So that's something maybe you can see also in this visual artworks, that you have a feeling of the differences between images maybe you generated in the beginning or 2 years ago and you do it now. I think also they deal a bit better now with the hand problem with this new generating tools. So thank you for listening, and I'm open to answer some questions if you have questions.